What do you mean? She said he's just into the swinger thing, where it turns him on, watch another man make love to me. And I broke the rules that night, I fell for you. Well, he was there, I cut her off and said, where? At the house, she replied, and she started to cry. I'm like, what the fuck? She said, well, that night we made love, he videotaped us. I already know you, Greg. I take this to the police station and tell them why you were doing a raping. My husband was videotaping. You drugged me and handcuffed me. Then after you left, my husband fucked me. Then I cut her off and said there's no truth to that. Besides, I have text messages covering my tracks. Then she began to laugh and reply, then try explaining that. Or better yet, I tell her it wasn't consensual sex. You think I'm gonna let you go that easy, especially the way you please me? Either you gonna listen or try being a father from prison. Don't worry, I'll let you make that decision. They hands me a picture. I was in disbelief, like what the fuck? Her daughter really does look just like me. I'm like, how could this be? She said, well, that night you see, I learned my lesson. I said, what lesson? She said, Greg, I'm sorry, I have a confession. That night we made love, I poked holes in the protection. But there's some things that you should know before I hit it all. I said, what's that supposed to mean? She said, well, I just want to be set free. My daughter, let's just say, I knew you wasn't the father. I said, what? She continued on by saying, I stayed so fucked up off drugs. That night we made love, I recorded on film. I never poked holes in a condom because I was protecting him. I said, who the fuck is him? She said, well, they call him Tim. Then she started to cry. She said, well, Tim committed suicide, but Tim's my daddy, that's why. MaryBeth is an old friend around town who likes to get down. Hell, she been known to mess around. She has a sex addiction. That night they stayed in the car kissing. After I got dressed, I left. They were in the car having sex. I ended up going to the hospital, and in my system they found X. That son of a bitch spiked my drink. That put me to sleep. I knew he was trying to be slick. I'm like, who? He said, I think his name is Rick. I'm like, oh shit. He said, yeah, it's Rick. Dude was bugging, but that's MaryBeth's cousin.
Passionate kid, while all the candles lit, fire burn. Want you to have my kid, my beautiful lady.
This shit is crazy. It's funny how things with life takes a turn. I'm still trying to stomach the fact that Pops was fucking her. A night full of pleasure, and look what has occurred. A total disrespect. I'm still trying to figure out who the hell is MaryBeth, cause this here is some shit. Still trying to figure out how she cousins with Rick. This dude must be some pimp, because he always seems to be around large crowds, popping X in people's drinks. This dude is found, and suddenly my phone began to ring, and it was her. She said, Greg, please just let me explain. Over the years I've been dealing with a lot of pain, but I'm ready to confess my sins before I go insane. Look, you probably know by now about that night and what really went down, but please just listen. Me and Pops, we had sex, but not by decision. It's just that my dad owed a debt, and that in return he wanted sex. I'm like, who the fuck is he? She said, Greg, please, you know Rick was vicarious. I'm like, are you serious? Oh shit, it's Rick? She then got upset and said no, it was his alter ego, MaryBeth. What the fuck? Oh man.
You a passionate kid, while all the candles lit, fire burn. Want you to have my kid, my beautiful lady, all night long.
Man, Pops, what type of shit was you and your friend into? It's like there's a game being played, and I feel like I'm the fool. But if you don't start talking, I swear I'm gonna break these rules. Pop says, son, just be cool. Look, Tim was always in the guys. I don't know why, I guess it was just his thing, but I never questioned it. But look, we were friends, and he never tried any shit. Look, son, he was a good friend, and I cut him off. I said, did you know MaryBeth was a man, and his name was Rick? Pops got quiet and said, oh shit, but how? When Rick was serving the drink, suddenly my phone began to ring, and it was her. I put her on speakerphone. Pop said, tell that witch to leave me alone. She said no, I had to explain. That night my dad and Rick was playing a game. I heard a conversation where they were gonna get you drunk and then have love making. So after you fell asleep, Rick got you naked, and that's when I entered in the room. You started shaking. I was already drunk, plus it was a fancy of my dad's while he was making love to a man to watch his daughter fuck his friend.